Hello, welcome. Marlene here. For today's cookie project, we're making a champagne bottle. The label, obviously, you can personalize for whatever occasion you're celebrating. And now on to the step-by-step cookie tutorial. I'm creating some decorative buttons, kind of, just some dots to add to my cookies. So I'm just adding some royal icing blobs, and I'm going to sprinkle them with some pretty decorative sprinkles, and I'm going to be able to pick them up and place these on my cookies. I'm making a few extra, ideally as round as possible. I think I got this at CookieCon there. It says on it, "You're so fancy." And they're very pretty sprinkles. So I'm going to sprinkle all this. And what sticks will stick. There. And these will be my little accent pieces on my cookie. Here is my champagne bottle that I'm trying to do here. And you see how cute that is? So here's my white cookie. I've got a piece of plain paper that I made the label. Okay, and I'm just resting that on. And this is to make sure it doesn't fly away. And then my other magnets are just to weight it down. Oh yeah, I'm using this here just to create a white circle. I'm adding like a medallion area there. So let's just weight all that down. And now I'm just adding electric green to the whole thing. Don't worry too much about the top since we're covering that. Okay. And now I've got leaf green in my other airbrush gun. The great thing about having multiple airbrush guns is you're not constantly cleaning the ends, you know, you can just leave your color. And now I'm hitting on the perimeter with this darker green to create kind of like a roundness to the bottle. And that's it. One of the easiest airbrush jobs you'll do. And we're just going to expose all this. So the magnet at the top is a guideline, just a lazy guide. And now I'm spraying, where is it? Oh, I'm using this Roxy Rich stuff to make the bottle a bit shiny. There. And we're going to let this set up so that we can finalize it, but isn't that pretty? I had added this circle and it's just helping me to know where I'm gonna kind of have the top to the bottle. So I'm just adding in green marker just in case it's peeking out here. And this is like just some decorative wrapping for the champagne bottle. Like that. I have my guidelines. I'm just adding some gold icing here and letting it dry just a little bit. And once that happens, I'm going to come in with a fondant tool and just gently press into it, creating like potholes so that it's a little bit more textured to look like the aluminum that's at the top of a champagne bottle. Just like that. And I'm just shaking it for it to heal. It doesn't have to be perfect since we're going to be banging it up, but we don't want to have like icing strokes. Okay, let's give it, 15 minutes. Now I'm just texturizing the top gold section. It's 15 minutes now has passed for this to dry, and I'm just gently pressing on the gold area. You don't want this to dry, just crust, and then you can come in and gently just break it up, dent it. And then we're just going to leave this like that to dry, and then we'll be able to paint it. I wanted to use this for, you know, to switch it up in the demo, but it's not fitting. The cookie's not fitting in there. I tried to do it this way, but it's not fitting. And so again, the teal one comes to the rescue. You can see the cookie fits in there. So it's not long. The cookies are too big and don't fit inside the stencil holders. So I'm just now adding my guidelines to the cookies so that I can come in and pipe that. I'm not stenciling because the design is very fragile and I don't want to have my thing ripping. So I'm just giving myself a very faint airbrushed guide, and I'm going to pipe these, or else they're going to get just, the stencil is going to get shredded. I'm just resting my stencil, and it's shielding the rest of the white to keep it pristine, and just a light misting directly from above. This is the same color I'll be piping in, so if it's exposed, it's not a big deal. You see how pretty that is? I could leave it. It's fine, airbrushed. Okay, so now I'm just adding some gold piped lines here. So I'm just adding a seam where the label kind of meets with the bottle, just to clean that up. You can add whatever message you want to the bottle, or the label I should say. And now I'm just piping a single line. I'm not fattening up where the font is fat. I'm leaving the airbrush to show behind. And the airbrush is creating that kind of calligraphy look. And then here I'm adding some lines to create kind of like a burst and fill in that kind of like bubbled roundness right there. And then once all this has had time to dry, I'm going to come in and paint that with some gold. These are about done. Last little bit. I'm adding some icing right here to look like a ribbon that's around the neck of the bottle. The icing color is Wedgwood, and I'm just quickly drawing this out. I'm using my Boo Boo stick to sharpen the point here on this. I want it to be very square. And then make sure your icing's nice and smoothed out. This is supposed to be a ribbon, so we don't want wrinkles in the ribbon. We want it to look smooth. And then while it's wet, I'm dropping in my little sprinkle dots that I made. Oh, that one broke in half. I'm not very patient. They haven't had time really to dry. There. And I'm just pressing that in the wet icing. And that's all that's necessary to jazz these up. And I've got here some gold luster dust that I'm just painting on with a bit of alcohol to the gold royal icing, the gold color. You see how that just comes to life, and now I'm adding a touch of gold to here. So just touching lightly the top of the royal icing here, just to add a bit of shine to these elements of the design. Right at the top of the writing. And they're done. You see? The gold really jazzes them up. Here are the completed cookies. If you want to add these to a platter, you could just fluff up the set with some bubbles to mimic the champagne. I think that would be super cute. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.